So my name is John Waikinda, and I am 29 years of age, a resident of Nakuru, and also a mental health advocate with mental health lived experience.
Thank you. So today is all about the human library, and Waikinda will tell us about his title a little bit. Then I'll guide him through questions.
Okay, so as I've said, I'm a mental health advocate. We are a group of young people doing mental health advocacy, and to that extent, we have a project we are calling the Human Library Project that involves young people with mental health lived experience, talking about their life in and titling their books, their lives as books. Mine is Mania in Campus, because I live with bipolar disorder. So my book is Mania in Campus, as it's written in notation.
Why that title?
Mania in Campus is a short story about my life in campus, because that is when I got real freedom, far away from home, and there were very many instances that my condition manifested, and I was free, so I wasn't restricted, I wasn't acting, and I think that's where I was just free, and my condition manifested.
Okay. So when was your first diagnosis, and which symptoms were you experiencing at the time?
My diagnosis was in early 2019, and this was brought about by I had very constant mood shifts, as we would call them then, because I had highs and lows, which basically is what people that live with bipolar disorder experience. And so I had these mood shifts, and people around me would tell me that we don't think you're okay, and you should seek help. And that's when I went for my diagnosis.
So what was your feeling at that time?
Around that time, I had a depressive episode that is accompanied by I was highly irritable. I would get agitated and angry easily. I remember around that time I even had suicidal ideations.
So can you tell us what was the hardest point throughout that time?
Around that time, just before my diagnosis, I remember I was passing through a very difficult phase, and I remember I had these active suicidal ideations. And I think that was the most difficult part.
Can you tell us a bit about your recovery journey, and what was your turning point?
My turning point was just around the same time. I had people that were close to me talk to me and assure me that everything would be okay. And luckily, I knew about PDO, because I had met PDO a year or so before my diagnosis. I met them during a humanitarian response when the Solai Dam tragedy happened. So I called the CEO, Mr. Yeregi. I told him I'd want a mental health assessment, and that was made, and immediately now I came and got diagnosed. Of course, initially I was rebellious and I couldn't agree, but shortly after doing therapy for 2 or 3 times is when I started accepting, and I can say that is when I saw a turning point in my recovery journey.
Throughout your journey, what helped you? Like, what gave you hope, and what urged you to seek recovery?
Pardon, can you rephrase the question?
Okay. Throughout your journey, like, what was the one thing that was helping you in your recovery period? Like, what can you say?
I'll say it will be the people that were around me. I had social support. People that were around me would check up on me, help me follow up on therapy, and remind me to go for my medication, refilling of my medication. You know, they'll be there for me. They'll talk to me. I remember after my diagnosis, there is one good friend of mine that even went and did their own research about bipolar disorder and came to me and told me, you've been a productive person and you've been you're in your career path and such. And now they told me about other people that had bipolar disorder, like Professor Jojo Moore. So that really helped in my recovery.
Thank you. So, how is your life right now after the recovery, after meeting up with video? What can you say that they have impacted in your life?
One thing that I always say is what post-diagnosis and PDO following up, one thing that I single out as the greatest help was how PDO made me self-aware. They made me self-aware about my condition, how to live with it, and how to manage. And I'll say immediately I learned about self-awareness and how to live around people, how to manage, how to see the warning signs of my episodes coming by. That has been my greatest help up to this time.
Thank you. So, any advice to a person struggling out there, somebody who is skeptical about seeking help, somebody who's feeling low? What can you tell your brother and sister out there?
Yeah, I'll say, and as research has shown, mostly in young people, but in the general population, one among 4 people will battle mental health problem or mental health condition in their lifetime. And that's 25% of our population. And I think currently mental health isn't so spoken out about because people really in the past thought of it as a taboo. But what I'll tell someone watching out there and someone listening out there is being diagnosed with a mental health condition won't even derail you. It won't even change. I think, as a matter of fact, if it will change, it will change you to better because you'll get to know about the health out there, the interventions that can be given, and you lead a good life. And it is really a good thing that now PDO through the Prepare Champions youth-friendly project are able to do mental health advocacy and normalize conversations around mental health and mental health conditions. And so people you just come and this is a condition that you live with, and as we basically say, we look at progress, not even perfection.
Okay, on our last question, can you tell us how the Human Library has impacted both your listeners and you?
I've come. Let me start with myself. I've come to notice that when I'm doing mental health advocacy, maybe through the Human Library or through social media posts, or when I get called upon to even just share my story with people, it really makes me even now more self-aware about whatever struggles I'm passing through, and it's helped me actually even get better. To people out there, the people that are listening, I've been able to, through like counseling that we've been taught, I've been able to do emotional first aid for some people out there, and people also come out and we are able to fight stigma that surrounds mental health, because basically what I've come to notice is the biggest impediment and challenge to mental health and people talking about mental health is a stigma attached to it. And now the Human Library Project has enabled me and the other books to be able to talk about mental health, normalize conversations surrounding mental health, and that way we are fighting stigma one person at a time.